Hello, everybody. Well, I should say anybody, since right now there is nobody here. Oh, sweet, that's a nifty way to display the chat. I'll have to remember that if people join in. And welcome all back to another trek through the dungeon. Um, I've been working. Last year I went for Great Player, where you beat the game with every character. This year I, in some theoretical sense, would like to go for Greater Player, where you beat the game with every class. And I'm specifically going to be aiming for GreaterGnolling, where I beat the game with every class of Gnoll possible. I'm making some progress in that direction. I'm not in any way like trying to do this in a rushed fashion. It's fine with me if it takes a very long time to get done. But let's do this. LG dot null dash dash win null s equals class. So far, it looks like I've won the game with Ice, Fire, Venom, Mage, and Hedge Wizard and Air Elementalist Knolls. This is the Earth Elementalist that I'm running now, which would complete the basic 5-element classes. I also apparently have already taken Delver. That was a challenge run that I did. And as of right now, I'm actually on a bit of a streak. I've won a Fire Elementalist and a Delver back to back. So if I win this Earth Elementalist, it'll be a 3 streak. But I'm doing something else, and that is I'm also sort of kind of beginning to think about getting Polytheist, where you beat the game with every god that the game has to offer. I pretty much always like winning with Gazog. He's my favorite by a long shot when I play Knolls. So it's admittedly a bit out there to try something different for me. It's fine. It's just not the well-trodden path. And if you look over here, you can see that there are several that I haven't won with, but also several I have won with. Think I'd say I'm about a third of the way there, maybe. So anyway, TLDR, I picked Nemlik Zobeh this time specifically because I haven't beaten with him yet, the game with him yet. I don't really know how he works very well. It looks to me like you gain these abilities to draw cool cards, and the cool cards can do cool things, and the cool things can sometimes be less than good. I like that it tells you what's available right here. Foxfire, Dance Pentagram, Illusion, Elements, etc. What I don't like is I don't like randomness in general. I push a button and a good thing happens. So it'll be interesting to see if I even use his ability at all. Having beaten the game as a demigod with no deity at all, I feel much more confident now in my ability to beat the game with any deity and just not use the deity, as long as the conduct is not overly punishing like Chebriados. I started as an Earth Elementalist, and so far the only cool spells that I've picked up that weren't Earth are Irradiate, which is hugely valuable. In fact, I'm going to memorize that now. 20% is still reasonable to cast, as well as Ignite Poison. Again, hugely valuable. I've picked up a poison dagger because of that ability, as well as some poison darts. And when I need to kill a guy, I just throw the darts and then ignite them. And that's a very effective high damage ability. Otherwise, I can try and stab because, again, Knolls, for those of you who haven't seen me Knolling before and haven't watched my videos and don't plan to, Knolls are awesome. They're my favorite race in the game. They do this thing where they get really good. They get somewhat good at everything. So they get really, really good at their opening build because all of that experience that would be funneled into 1 or 2 skills is funneled just into whatever their main skill is, right? So you're guaranteed practically to get your basic casting up front for free. After that, they quickly train fight. They simultaneously are training fighting and armor and dodging and fighting and armor and dodging and whatever their melee weapon of choices and shields. So they're getting like 4 defense and stealth. So they're getting like 4 or 5 defensive abilities all at once. Granted, with not a great aptitude, but consider that you usually don't put a heavy amount of experience into your defense skill right off the bat, and you realize that it almost doesn't matter. It adds up pretty quick. Then, after that, they also hit this mid-game slump where, because you haven't been focus training your offensive skills, you're likely a little petering out in the offense department relative to other characters. But the converse of that is they've been slow training throwing and slings and daggers, none of which require heavy skill input to be reasonable at dealing a reasonable amount of damage with stuff you almost always find in the dungeon. Further, you're getting up to level 5 or 6 evocations, so your wands are more empowered than someone who has perhaps ignored that training to focus on their main fighting skill. So now you can, no matter what the dungeon throws at you, you have a reasonable toolkit to work with and kind of cobble together a decent plan of attack. Ooh, new book. Yes! Ice book. Perfect timing. We'll take Frozen Ramparts and Ozo's Armor and Ice Beast. And now we have everything we need to beat the entire layer. We have Ice Beasts for Hydras. We can use Irradiate if things get really pear-shaped. We have Ignite Poison for the majority of enemies. We have Frozen Ramparts plus Ozo's Armors for others. And yeah, so anyway, you get tanky. So when you put it all together, you get dodgy, tanky, overall reasonable melee aptitudes. And because the fun quirk of being a spellcaster, you get to equally powerfully cast all spells of a given level, maybe a slight bonus to one or the other for a manual you might find or for your starting class, which means you will probably not be casting level 7 spells. Probably. Or sorry, you'll probably not be casting higher than level 7 spells, probably. But you will be casting any utility spell you come across with relative alacrity. And I usually put Frozen Ramparts on X. Yep, okay, so we're gonna Ramparts and Ice Guard, stab a little bit, and let's hurl some javelins to soften this crowd up. Alright. Since you guys aren't coming to me, I will break and then remake. Yeah, so I quite enjoy that. I enjoy being able to broadly use whatever I come across and carefully use, and the even the difficulty of feeling like you're below the power curve is kind of artificial because, oh, hey there, howdy MF, welcome. So yeah, even the difficulty of being below the power curve is sort of artificial because, you know, to beat a 3-room game, you do not need to be maxed out power by a long shot. And you're gonna hit level 10 to 15 in most skills easily. Better player than me would absolutely take swiftness as an escape tool. And until I get blink, I should probably do what a better player than me would do so that I have the option, just in case. Yeah, so we will take swiftness. So basically, at this point, there's almost no trace of me ever having been an Earth Mage. Oh, I don't have any rings at all. I'll definitely put a ring on. I like it. I'll put a ring on it. Probably poison is my fastest way to kill this guy. Let's cut them out of LOS and poison just you, and then torch you. Yeah. For any that labor under the delusion, you need both Olgrib's Toxic Radiance as well as Ignite Poison as a combo to be effective. It's not true. You can absolutely get a solid value proposition from just one or the other. But obviously the combo is more potent than is worth more than the sum of its parts. So I need to be very careful until I find a clear downstairs. I can still get Hydra swarmed very easily here. I do have a broad base of tools to use against what I'm likely to come across, but that's no reason to get careless. Also, MF, because you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, this is the third in a row. Well, let me say it again. I'm working on a streak right now. I've won 2 in a row. Null, Fire Elementalist, and Delver. So if I take this down, it'll be 3 in a row, and that will tie the best streak I have on this account. Although again, not the best streak I've ever had. I think on my dedicated Knowles only account, I have a 5 streak. Because when I play Knowles and I play safe builds, I tend to win a lot. Wait, you never beat the game at all? Oh man, I did not know that. Do you always play interesting challenge classes, or do you actually? Hang on a second. Let's see if I can do this. Show chat overlay. Yeah. Record all my streams. Kabacha. Nope, didn't work there. Okay, never mind. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll be honest. Crawl has a really low win rate by percentage. So, are you, especially if you play the latest versions of the game, melee becomes harder and harder and harder. For the last several years, actually, it's gotten harder every single year, in my opinion. The I know the way the devs sometimes phrase things, it makes it sound like it's neutral, or like it's just making things the way it's supposed to be, or what have you. But in my opinion, anyway, and hell, it's my channel. I hope I get to have an opinion. Should I be wielding a better weapon? I should be using the Spear of Freezing here, shouldn't I? Okay, in my opinion, this game's hard enough that just making it harder for the sake of harder makes no sense. What they did in the name of simplifying was to change it so that instead of ogres, for example, getting the same speed swing. Ooh, okay, so I am not using the cards I'm getting, and I'm getting a lot of them. All right, well, none of these look like cards that I would benefit from drawing in a vacuum. These look like cards I want to draw when I'm in a fight or something, so I don't need to worry about using them as I go. Okay, where was I? Yeah, it used to be that slow weapons, the monster will swing, but they only have however much weapon experience they have, so they're going to swing them slower. And a fast weapon, like a dagger, a Spriggan is going to attack you more often than, say, an ogre wielding a giant spiked club would. They changed it so that however much EXP it would take for that monster to have a perfectly average attack speed, 1.0, that's how much it gets. So if that same ogre in this version of the game, version 0.26, would have gotten 1 attack off, and then you would have had 2 or 3 turns to deal with it and recover, in the newer version of the game, that same ogre is going to get 3 attacks off. But you're still going to get the same amount of experience, even though for you to get a min delay on a giant club that low would have taken you oodles and oodles of training and experience to work it up that high. So to my mind, it unbalanced what was a functional system. I mean, yeah, that's how I feel about it. Am I saying that it ruined the game for everybody? No, I mean people still can win. Look at me. I'm not even coming close to half the monsters I'm fighting. Oh shit, Joseph. What are you wielding? 20 sling bullets. Do I have the tools to kill him? I very much do. So let's get an ice beast going after him and start poisoning him from range. Get another Ice Beast in the pipeline and just really work on poisoning him. Advance behind my Ice Beast so I can get the Frozen Ramparts up. Really poison him and then blow him up. Ignite poison. But yeah, ultimately though, getting complacent will get you killed in every version of Kroll every time. But to me, that's a feature, and they don't need to make it more punishing. You know, the game does enough to punish you already without needing to be like, you'll die 80% of the time if you're over if you make a mistake here. You'll die 99% of the time if you make a mistake here. I mean, come on, it's doing its job. I've never heard of Zomboid. No, Project Zomboid. Tell me about it. Let's keep this thing rolling. Is it another roguelike or? Bah. It's so nice to be able to just tab fight through this right now. This is again one of those things that gnolls get to do and not everybody else does. Just hold down and kill everything at once. Oh wow, yeah, no, I have not had the chance to play that. No. I'm a rather eclectic gamer. There are definitely more than one roguelikes that I play. I would say the other roguelike that I play a lot of is Slay the Spire. I'm a huge fan. But and you know that is a property of a lot of hard games in general, that they force you to play to a certain level of skill and they don't want you to autopilot. But yeah. Alrighty. Oh shit, I just walked up to a bog body. That was a mistake. How am I gonna get out of this? I think I will attempt one irradiate and then armor up. Good so far. I'm compounding my mistake by standing here, so let's back off. Frozen ramparts, armor up. There we go. So at this point, I probably don't need Sandblast anymore, honestly. I have so many stones that I haven't used because I've been quote unquote saving stones, and what good has that done me? Oof. Took way more damage than I expected. Am I wearing leather? I am wearing leather, right? Yeah, okay, good. Oh yeah. Onto my preaching the gospel of gnoll dudes. They get to wear leather armor as casters every single time, because they're always side training their armor skills to keep it real. All right. Boop, boop, boop. Floor clear. Probably should not have done that. That was a lot of electricity to eat unnecessarily. I got another amulet. Let's see what it is. I would rather have +5 shield skill than +15 dodge only when I'm screwing up. Burninate. Obliterate. All right. So, any new spells in my book? Nothing I care for. So yeah, playing without Gazog feels like playing on. Playing with Gazog feels like being on easy mode for me, because as a gnoll, no matter what I summon in his shops, I can use it. No matter what I find in a shop, I can use it. So having infinite money to buy not infinite, Having sufficiently large amounts of money to buy sufficiently much of whatever is great. Having no piety decay means that I can freely go back and forth optimizing my character whenever I find a new piece of equipment, instead of being compelled to play as if I was speedrunning when, I have no interest in doing that. And that's part of why playing for the Polytheist challenge is actually challenging me, because I can't just do comfort pick deity every single game. I have to. See, I just stabbed that guy while wearing leather, even though I haven't been doing anything stabbing training related all game. And these yaks don't wake up for hours, again, because I have stealth. Of course they don't wake up for hours. Anyone fool enough to encroach? Anyone who encroaches and croaks. I'm gonna croak y'all, baby. La 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 la. Come on. Get closer so I can burn you. So I started playing music. Well, I should rephrase. I picked up a piano and started messing around with it. Ooh, you know what? Stack 5 is interesting. Stack 5 is very interesting. If what they're saying is, and I think it is, I can choose what the top 5 cards of my deck will be, that means I can resist randomness. Let's make sure. Draws 5 cards from your choice of decks and allows you to sort them into any order. You can draw these cards in the order you chose. Okay. I'm curious. I'm going to try this. 5 MP and Piety. Let's draw Escape. Escape. Okay, so what is the cloud? What is the cloud? I actually don't know what any of these are. This is going to be awful. Creates clouds surrounding monsters in LOS. Clouds created from the fitted clouds, acid, and miasma. Okay, so it's the equivalent of using a cloud staff, or a little weaker since it's surrounding and not on top of. Okay, what's next? I want something that will actually help me get out of damage, so let's try another escape. The Tomb. I've heard nothing but good things about this, so let's take a look. Creates rock walls in one or more adjacent squares, destroying traps and displacing items, but not monsters in the process. So if I play Tomb and I have an air bubble around me, I can hide in perfect safety. I think that is an amazing card. I like it very much. Is there a downside? Does not work on water. Well, yeah, it's fine. Is there anything else I want from the deck of Escape? More. Exile, I have to assume, is Banishment. Shaft is probably better, but maybe not. What is Velocity? Presumably it hastes things. There's way more thinking than I'm used to. Slows, hastes, or swifts all allies or all enemy. Okay. Interesting. Helps you win fights and get away. I would like both the ability to haste slow and to tomb on demand. I guess another escape wouldn't kill me. Alright, so I've got tomb and 2 clouds that I don't want. 3 clouds that I don't want. And for my last act, I will draw from the deck of destruction the orb. What is the orb? That sounds terrifying. Yeah, this sounds like suicide on a card. If I make a burst of... Is Secunder's... Wait, Mystic Blast or Orb of Power? Orb of Destruction. Yeah. If I put Orb of Destruction around me, won't I just die? I mean, if one of them misfires, or if they all seek a target and one of those targets is towards me. Shit, I hope I never draw that. Okay, anyway. Yeah, well, let's put Tomb second. Cloud Tomb is good. Because I will probably use Cloud sometime between now and endgame. And then we'll have Orb, and then we'll get rid of everything else. So that should work. Yeah. Got it. So there's a draw stack separate and prepped for when I need it. And it tells me what's in the stack. That's great. That's perfect. That's exactly what I would want it to do. So here, for example, I could use the cloud card and just kill everything. But why bother when I can just back off, do this, and kill everything? Whatever. No. Do not enter the snake pit. What are you, moron? Go somewhere else. Anywhere else. And I just got more cards. Great. Just peachy. Trapdoor! I would really enjoy having a better way to apply poison. Something a bit more reliable. Oh, yeah, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. Back off. Now get an Ice Beast in play. Just in case he procs, which would be awesome. He has not procced. Switch over to the Spear of Freezy Pop. Freezy Pop. And back to the Dag of Venom. My greatest... I don't want to say greatest... The thing I enjoy doing when I play this game is playing not necessarily optimally, but thinking about what is the better play to make. Not in terms of what is the most fast play or what will minimize my turns count, but rather what will give me the best chance of success in any given situation, and then doing that. All right, let's go back for that lightning rod I completely forgot to pick up. And now pick it up. All right, good. So we should be pretty close, if not already at the point where we can cast Irradiate casually. So I would argue we are powerful enough to take on the rest of Lair, Orcish Mines even, possibly an Esperanche or two. Not necessarily in terms of absolute power, but in terms of the power that the spell book we have right now is good enough for all of that. And as much as I would love to have, a little more oomph here, maybe a Ozo's Refrigeration or a Toxic Radiance to go along with this, I don't actually need it. It's not feeling even worth my while right now to memorize it's not even right now feeling worth my while to memorize Lightning Bolt. Come on, get in here so I can squash you. ditch this. I kept the +4 falchion in case I accidentally read a scroll of branding, so that I would have a really solid +4 weapon to brand. But you know what? I should actually just figure out which of these that is. By the time I care, I'm gonna be done using other weapons. So the dagger, actually, I'm gonna put it into the falchion. Just go all in on branding that sucker one day. Acquirement. Well, I actually am tempted to take the money, because it's never a bad thing to have money. Taking that book is nice for the Guardian Golem or the Lightning Spire. Lightning Spire is another one that if you have it, you can pretty much beat Lair +1. But ultimately, I've got to accept +1 AC with an upside is going to be better than anything I'm likely to get for the rest of the game for my helmet slot. And it's actually even better. I don't have any AC bonuses in that slot yet, so it's an immediate massive boost to AC. It's definitely worth it. Whereas spells, I am likely to eventually find most, if not all of the spells, if not in the entire game, that's certainly around here. All right, here's a question for people who know this game better than I do. Can I restack 5 and make a separate stack of 5? Or will using stack 5 again erase my existing stack? Yeah. If anybody knows, I'm happy to know the answer, because I do not know. And with me getting a pretty maxed out amount of cards already, I wouldn't mind preemptively stacking stuff to build a thicker stack, so to speak. Nothing good in there, I don't think. There is a new potion in there. But you know what? I think this is the game where I already got a potion of acquirement, a potion of experience. So there aren't a whole lot of potions I need urgently either. Or would immediately be happy to take on life and limb for. Oh, and there's a wizard in there. Yeah, forget about it. Yeah, I have enough cards. Yeah, so I really should be stacking if I can. And here he is busily giving me cards. You know what? There was a ruined door guarding a good pickup somewhere. I forget where. Was it here? Oh, I'm on the wrong floor. Was it here? Yeah. No, this wasn't it. This was it. I saw this way earlier on and reminded myself at some point I would have to come back here and get that book. I don't know what it is, but I'll take a free book. This guy is a pathetic dweeb, so we'll open the door and just take them both out. Trust me, they were a lot scarier when I first came here. That's good stuff. I thought Book of the Warp had Blink in it, but I guess not. It's unfortunate. I would totally have gone gaga for that. All right, well, you know what? Let's find out. Stack 5, baby. Show me what you got. No. Okay, so you can only have one stack at a time. So what I guess I'm going to do is use the stack I've got and then replace it later on with another Entomb or Velocity Entomb or something like that. Oh yeah, what was this portal? Nothing of note. Oh, there's a blink scroll in there. That's valuable. Someday when I am out of blink scrolls, I'll come back for it. But not bloody well until. Might end up having to use a blink scroll to survive the decision to go in. I find it bitterly ironic that what I'm afraid of right now is my own ghost. Those potions are either Berserk, Ambrosia, Might, or Mutation. Mutation is eventually important, but not important yet. And that is a scary looking me, so let's just not take me on, I think. Alright. Pull the snake and go somewhere else. There's absolutely no need to take that on. One stab's all I get. That's fine, I'll take it. There we go. Get a wall. And take you all. One of the most important things you can get. You know what? I'm not obligated to. Okay, that was the storm. And this is the orb. It looks like that was just one orb of destruction, not a burst of orbs around me, as I was led to believe. I guess that might just be higher piety level threats that can do that to that. Which good, because I still think being surrounded by 8 orbs of destruction is not a good thing. It sounds like a bad thing. Granted, they're not supposed to blow up on you, but I've done way too much time playing around with Conjure Ball Lightning to ever trust the pathing of something that lethal. It is precisely because I don't trust the pathing of Ball Lightning that I find so much use for it. Here's the thing. If I wasn't a mage, Zobe's abilities would be really cool to me right now. It would be a solution for when everything else is failing. Like, you know, if I was a gladiator or a ranger or something, then it'd be like, okay, I'm not able to blast things on my own, and I need something magical, so I'll just use Zobe's bag of tricks. But with renewable sources of magical talent, I don't really need one-off spells that are random by nature, random in their very nature. Alrighty. Also, other than Satsum, it looks like one other person has joined channel. So hello to whomever you may be, and welcome to hell. I mean, my stream. Boom! Shoot you in the face and run. Burn. All right, that yellow potion that I didn't pick up inside the chamber. Potion of Might, so actually useless to me. There's virtually no scenario in which Might is the correct option in my current game state. I would be way better off in most situations using a drawn card at the very least. Oh my god, I totally have to shout, you've activated my trap card. It'd be hilarious. You are not dying. Let's irradiate you. So I just realized, like just now, that I'm on layer 6. So this floor is meant to be a bit more challenging, and I'm not approaching it like it's a challenge. Did I get shafted or teleported here? Because I actually don't even have a pathway back to the known from where I am right now. Alright. You know what? This would be a time to draw the cloud card. Let's do that. So it looks like it surrounded me and my immediate environs in fog and not much else. I can't say that that's what I expected, I really thought it was going to be more like summon Mephitic Cloud or stuff. So I'm actually really glad that I got that out of the way early instead of thinking it was going to do something at a critical juncture that it didn't. And more importantly, now I've got Tomb loaded, which is what I really wanted in my stack deck anyway. Alright, we've got our staircase back. We're basically invincible. Basically invincible. There we go. Level up already. Wonderful. Alright, you know what? Pull these 2 snakes and we'll worry about the rest in a second. Guardian, bringing you upstairs so that your teleport other is significantly worse. And back to exploring. And torch and pop. Torch, pop, and love it. Huh. This is where I really wish I had like an AoE spell I could use on them. Poison Cloud or something. Because spamming, I can take out one at a time really efficiently. Or somewhat efficiently, and that's it. And if they push me off the staircase here, I'm in trouble. They didn't, so I lucked out. But actually, that's a good point. They can't. They're elephants. They will still push. So let's see if I can find an engage where I can't get pushed. Like here, this is good. Too much work? Yeah, maybe, but nobody ever got a streak being careless. I mean, I guess I did when I'm playing Knowles, but otherwise. So apparently, streaks are not defined as using new race classes. You can do a streak of the exact same character repeatedly with the exact same background, which I gotta say to me doesn't seem like it's a real streak, but then again, when you realize the best streaks in the world are already varied characters, shit, this is a bad spot to be in. I picked a bad place to fight. I'm gonna make some beasts and get out. The beasts are there to deal damage as I retreat. Another thing which you are apparently not supposed to do anymore, because now every time you retreat, there's a 20% chance, 25% chance, 20% chance of getting auto-attacked by whatever is following you. And they still get to move and attack you normally if that, if their rolls are good. But they don't randomly get a little faster and a little slower. So you'll probably not be able to produce an air gap unless you have a speed differential to begin with. Which means they'll always follow you upstairs, which means it can be very hard to shake off a sticky enemy now. Then again, this is just trunk. I mean, there's still plenty of times for the devs to nerf change or revert that change. All right, well, if you're not going to gas me, I'm going to keep torching you until you pop. Thank you. And we'll poison you heavily until you berserk, and then we'll burn you. All right, we'll burn you now. I need to remember that I have Irradiate and use it once per encounter more often. Irradiate's issue is that the contamination that it forces you to take will absolutely add up if you spam cast it. But if you use it just once or twice per encounter, it's never going to get spam casted, and it's an amazing closer tool. It works really well. The subset of enemies it works well on is not a subset that lots of things work well on. So, yeah. And it's in melee, so, the place that a wizard generally is running out of options if their enemies have reached. I would really love for you to be slowed when you reach me. Alright, let's try this. Yeah, see, one-shotted with the Irradiate. Poison heavily, torch, good. Poison heavily, torch. Poison heavily, torch. And I screwed up there. I should not have so casually stayed in the same place and spammed the poison heavily without paying attention. He could very well have Mephitic'd me and put me into a world of hurt because I cannot ignite Mephitic on myself with no poison, with no fire resistance. It will go very poorly. I can, I just can't do it casually. All right, I accidentally auto-explored my way very deep, so I'm going to try to pull myself out of this mess. And then I'll be a bit more systematic. First, let's explore places that aren't putting my head into a lion's mouth. Okay, shitty loot is shitty. Oh, perfect. Let's go to the nearest staircase to let the mark do its thing and draw out more of my enemies. Let's keep auto-exploring for loot. And now we can explore here where we haven't been yet and pelt everything to death. Definitely Irradiate finish there. Here immune to poison. I always forget that because in my world, resist corrosion does not make you immune to poison. All right, so Acid Dragon scales, if I recall correctly, are really good. 6.5. How does that stack up to what I'm currently using? 3.4 with +3, so yeah, I'm gonna gamble on keeping what I've already got. I do not want to wear the Ring of Attention, so we'll keep that, ditch that, and put back on my Ring of Protection from Fire, because why not? There we go. Wah, 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 wah. All right. You might actually be fun to kill. Because I do not have a lot of things that work against your particular resistance pattern. I can just shoot you in the face with a stone arrow. Oh, please. Yes, yes, yes. Light that poison on top of you and kill you. And keep backing off because I heard dragons. I heard there would be dragons here, and that has made me nervous. Ooh, cool sword. I don't have any cool swords. I like cool swords. I would like a cool sword. Let's check it out. Imminent death. Protection, will plus, MP plus 9, dex plus 4. Step aside every other weapon in my arsenal. Joking aside, I will not be taking the Sling of Flame anymore. And ordinary boomerangs have lost their luster when I can potentially be using javelins just as easily. I say right as I enter a situation where if I want any of my ammo back, I would have to use them. Oh, right. I'm using the poison dagger specifically to poison my enemies, so it's actually kind of valuable beyond just its power level. Alright, how does one deal with a fire dragon? I have only 1 pip of resist fire, that's not good. I'm assuming he's basically resistant to everything. Actually, 1 in 3 odds of paralyzing is excellent. Even at this range, if he was paralyzed, I could boomerang him to death. Well, I accidentally swiftnessed, so it's now or never. Let's try to paralyze him. That failed. That failed. That succeeded. Oh, we just stab him. Duh. There we go. Yeah, again, you would not normally have 36% odds of paralyzing a dragon with your wand if you weren't training evocations up to 10. But when you're passively training evocations up to 10, hey, your wands are pretty damn powerful. All right, so it looks like we've cleared out the lair completely. We have a fair amount of cash, so we could try for ring mail. I think I'm carrying a ring mail with me, or I was. Let's take a look at how far back wearing ring mail sets my spell casting. I go from 216% for level 3, 4, and 5s, or 126 for 3, 4, and 5, to 1, 4, 11. It's actually very acceptable, and the bonus to my AC is notable. So I will try for this ring mail and see if it's worth having. Yes, please. Oh my god, yes, it's worth having. Perfect. So let's go ahead and ditch the +3 leather in favor of the +4 ring RF+++, except that we're probably slowing down our level 6 acquisitions just a little bit, which, again, we don't have any right now, and by the time I get to that level of endgame, I will both be better trained and better positioned to decide if I care. I now have perfect fire resistance, or if I get a ring of cold, I could easily resist cold instead, and that's great. So let's just keep diving. Yes, we've got a good arsenal of temporary evocables. We have discovered what intelligence rings look like and which ones never to wear. We have even more cards. Good, good. Ahí está. With the sheer number of cards I'm getting, I almost wonder if a Nemelix player is intended to just be using cards as 90% of their offense. Like, I do feel like if you're an evocations expert, so your wands are on cooldown sometimes, and you haven't necessarily gotten all of the artifacts that you want to be working with, you could absolutely kind of be to tide myself over. You know, I use the cards to fill the gaps. All right, I will carry resist corrosion on my person because until I have a good source, what's going to happen is one day I'll come across a thingy-mabob, a caustic strike, and God help you if you don't have the ability to resist corrosion when a caustic strike is trying to take you down. In new crawl, it's basically instant death since you can't retreat. I'm joking, of course. It's not instant death. It's just very painful. Oh my god, I keep coming across rings. He said like he was sad or something. Let's ditch the wand of flame at this stage. The odds of me ever actually stopping for a flame puff are low. I would almost certainly rather draw a random card of destruction and destroy my targets. Next floor. It's interesting. I actually hate the gain EXP by exploring concept, because in my mind, it incentivizes you not exploring the dungeon. You know, to parcel out for maximal gain, since it's your only method of restoring XP otherwise, right? That just seems weird to me. But all of this, of course, is predicated on the fact that there are piety caps and piety decay. If those two systems didn't exist, then you could do whatever. The net amount of piety would be the same, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm just going to remind myself that I don't actually need any Nemelix Zobek cards to win, probably, and so it's fine. I also lack a See Invisible abilities, so it's going to be really important for me not to get caught out by that invisible thing that's lurking around here somewhere. All right, the ID mini game is done. Whoa, what is that? What is that? What is that? Okay. Game plan has changed, boys. We need that. But we want it anyway. That is the best kite shield in the game, and our shield skills are already at 10, which is very reasonable for wearing it. We have perfect fire resistance and no cold resistance, and there are many dragons. This sounds like a problem that I can solve. But first, let's clear the floor. There's absolutely no reason to rush into this yet. You could also make the argument that there's no point in going for that shield until my shield skills are a little bit higher. It is not an argument I'm prepared to make. You could argue I can come back for it later, since I'm not well equipped to take on 4 dragons, but I think I can do this. I have all the tools, and I have plenty of escape tools lined up too. And I'm not just talking about the deck of escape, although that is a hefty escape tool if I ever said. Oh my god, the treasure vault? A free book that I don't need. How cool. Horn of Geryon. Well, that's a treasure I'm never getting. By the time I am good enough to have the Horn of Geryon, I won't need this treasure trove. It's a testament to how bad I am at this game that in my head I'm thinking, unless... It's like, dick, unless nothing. Okay, that rock just got reflected back at the Cyclops, so now I feel pretty good. Until that rock reflected back, I was debating whether to disengage or not, but yeah, that rock reflecting pretty much ended that question for me. I mean, currently my buckler is just a buckler with no added abilities, so definitely there's an incentive to get that shield, and that shield in particular is just literally one of the best shields in the entire game. I would have to be an idiot not to try to get it eventually. The question isn't if you get it, the question is when. Whoa! Pain just did 50% of my life damage. I do not want to be here, and I'm pretty sure he's reflecting injuries right now. Yeah, so I'm going to have to get foe immediately. Teleport, please. Thank you. I did not like that engage, and I can afford to get better. There you go. There you go. You guys think I'm in a rush, but I'm not. I have oodles of time. You know I reflect projectiles, so I'm probably going to kill you just standing here. Venom, Evocable Blink, Evocable Rage, Will, Int +3. Game, why are you so good to me? Will plus is equal, Int plus is superior, Evocable Blink and Rage are very much superior because I don't have a source of Blink yet. And MP +9 is nice. Protect is nice, but the kicker though is that this has Venom on it. Is my attack speed okay? My attack speed is average. My attack speed is not terrible. So yeah, this is probably my go-to weapon. Broad Axe of Electrocution. My God, the game wasn't giving me perfect stuff to begin with, but now it kind of is just like trying to convince me to go all the way. Which I should tell you guys right now, I haven't been doing a lot of post-game lately because, you know, my goal is right now to get a whole bunch of these wins, specifically since I'm trying for greater player, and it takes a lot longer to win the game. Okay, Pergy, are you gonna? Thank you. Snoring, sorry, not Purdy. It takes a lot longer to win the game, long game, than the short game. All right. Where we got Borgnor's Val Clutch is definitely going on the pickup list, and we'll reassign it to C. There's a few different letters I tend to use for Borgnor's depending on what my other spells are, so C is fine. Okay, now that we have the ability to grab and hold a dragon in place, in addition to the ability to ignore the fire dragon mostly, we can pop this. All right off the bat, we got the wrong dragon in front, but we did manage to get away from him. He is 50-50 to paralyze. Well, Jesus, I'm going to take those odds. He fails, succeeds, dagger, succeeds, dagger, dagger. Okay, now we win. Let's go back to our cool Morning Star and just leave, please. I have 3 tiers of fire resistance, so I'm not particularly inclined to do anything fancy against them. And now I have tiers of goddamn every resistance. Haha. Let's ditch my current shield, wherever it may be. And then we will recalculate how bad this is penalty-wise. 11, 5, 14. This is actually almost identical to my prior spell failure. It's only like a 1% change, if that. But it is undisputably better for my resistances, for my will, and for my shield skill. So, yeah. The other question is, should I wear Ice Dragon scales? From a resistance point of view, it would round out my resistances perfectly. No, it wouldn't. I would lose the ring mail. So yeah, forget about it. Forget about it. Because I'm feeling peckish, orcish minds, baby. I'm gonna take you all out. Think about your average Minotaur fighter at this stage of the game, and realize that or not Minotaur fighter, that's a bad example. Think of your average ordinary fighter, human fighter, and realize that my skilling, 10%, level 10 in most of these skills is actually pretty reasonable. It's not as high as say 16, but it's not that far off that, you can't possibly tab fight. I could reasonably O-tab my way through a lot of this content right now. And that's ignoring the fact that I've been building as a mage, limiting my armor choices to comply with my magery. And I have the utility spells to prove it for, any situation in which they would matter. I've been training intelligence, not strength. And yeah, it's kind of cool to have that level of power. Ooh, I do want to do the volcano. I'm definitely strong enough. Any other staircase is better than this one, so let's find another staircase. This is the ideal staircase. Let's just head north and fight our way back later. Seems reasonable. Do I dig my way in? Nah, I only have 4 dig charges. Let's save them. When I come out of here, I'm going to need help. I'm not expecting, actually, now that I think about it, to find anything good in here for me, because I already have maxed out fire resistance and a good ring mail to accomplish it. So maybe coming in here was unnecessary. Then again, EXP is never truly unnecessary. We're going to rage and kill this guy. I bet you I can just beat him down with my Berserk stick. And I need to remember that I have Blink. It's just on my evocations. Well, Potions of Berserk are definitely a welcome addition to my arsenal. Potions of Immolation, or Scrolls of Immolation. You know, question to chat. How much damage does Immolation cause? Actually, let me see if I can post that. How much damage does Immolation cause to a RF+++ player? Let's see, because what I'm debating is step back out when I get out of here and immolate the crowd. I don't think I'm going to do it, but I'm curious as to the strategy. Oh, I'll totally replace my shoes if these are good shoes. Yeah. +2 flying beats +2 of nothing. And that's actually a nice utility ability to pick up, so that's a straight up win for me. All right, we've cleared out part of the volcano, good enough size. All right, so rather than doing the possibly suicidal move, we're going to use the condenser vein when we get out. We're also going to take a quick, oh yeah, we're not going to need potions of flight probably. We're also going to need a quick buff before we come out just to improve our odds. I like taking brilliance here for sure. I don't really think I need anything else, but invisibility is on the table. Yeah, I don't need anything else. Let's shield up first with my AC buff, and then condenser vein. And that should just win the whole fight. Like, completely. Brilliance was totally pointless, and I'm okay with that. Alright. And we'll just fight our way back to the staircase and then declare victory prematurely. That's a lot of you guys. Why don't you come this way? Come this way. Come to my murder hole, please. Step into my official murder hole. Damn it. I just keep saying it that way. If you could all line up, that'd be just great. Okay? You are not all lining up. That's fine. I'll take what I can get. My HP is still very good, very healthily high. Their death P is excellently low. Okay. Just rock 'em, sock 'em, kick 'em, stick 'em, burn 'em. I need to be careful about those large rocks because even though most of the time my kite shield with the reflection amulet is going to send them back at my opponent, it doesn't take very many rocks to kill a character. It doesn't take very many large rocks at all, actually. Okay, I had 2 miscasts in a row. That's quite unfortunate. But not at all impossible. I think I may have triggered a mark or something or aggroed, made a lot of noise because I am drawing a lot of aggro, more than I expected I would. Maybe I just didn't realize it, but I was very close to the end chamber already. Well, whatever the reason, they're pouring at me and trying to get themselves killed, and I am more than happy to oblige them. Pain. That was a good bounce rock. I actually don't know if I've used a single heal wounds this entire game. Like, I'm not sure, but I don't think I have. It's another one of those situations where I feel like I'm sometimes more cautious than I need to be when I realize how little I've actually used my stuff. Okay. While I probably should look around first, I think I might just straight up buy this teleport. And if I don't have haste, I need at least 1 haste. I got 5. If I don't have heal wounds, I need 4 heal wounds. I have 4 heal wounds, so let's keep rolling. I'm not a Gazog player, so I can't just buy everything without thinking. Young Poisoner's Handbook would give me Olgreb's Toxic Radiance. Unfortunately, I just passed the point where it was super helpful, but it's still very helpful. Inner Flame is cool. Starburst is nifty, but it's very high level for the build I'm running. Mephitic Cloud is nice, but again, I'm kind of past the part of the game that cares. Statue Form will win you games by itself, but honestly, with my ring mail, I don't know that I would want Statue Form. The only thing that Statue Form really buys me is resistance to electricity, which I'm still lacking. The Necronomicon showed up this game. Necronomicon is interesting. Necronomicon opens the door for me doing extended endgame in relative comfort. But I'm on Nimelex. I don't feel like this is an extended endgame deity for me. I like my extended endgame deities to provide me infinite value so that I can get infinite loot and get infinitely powerful. Not, and Nemelex feels like you can stack the perfect deck, and that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, my Sandblast is so powerful now. I can shoot down double-headed ogres with 2 Sandblasts. That's great. Are you guys quite through? Some of us would like to get on with the game and not have more shit to do down here. What I'm saying is I'm tired of kicking orcish ass. Okay, I'm sorry for boasting. Please take out the leader. Javelin that sucker. And there we go. Let him go. Stay on the leader. Pound it. And clear. Okay. We'll try the alternate staircases to go up just to cash out. If we were Gazog, we would have probably had several hundred more gold out of this by now, but we're not Gazog, and I need to stop saying that. I need to start appreciating what I have. I have a tomb on tap whenever I need one, and Gazog could never have offered me that. He could have offered me haste, 20 magic back, and 30 life along with my brilliance, but I digress. A thought occurs. Does this shield give me resistance to poison? No, it doesn't. Okay, well then I will continue to wear the poison ring, at least for now. Splash around till they notice me. And set them up till fail. At this point, I no longer need to get clever with Hydras. I have so much shield and so much AC, they really shouldn't be a significant threat anymore. I do like evasion. I like it more than my 5th pip of Protect from Fire, so let's ditch that ring and put on evasion. I don't love evasion. I'll happily shift it over to something better if I find something better. I do actually though love the shield. Oh my god, I deserve to be banished for that. I just bull rushed Irolka and lucked out that she didn't banish me. Though to be fair, I have 4+ will, so she's probably not exactly that close to being able to do such a thing. Ambrosia is a good ability to have on tap, so I will stub that in. This is a version of the game where you still got penalized for flying at the wrong time, so I do need to be cognizant of that. But I'm not dealing with Titans right now, so it's not immediately relevant. All right. We're going to hit D15 in no time, so I think that's at least my initial target, and then I'll decide after that how much more I want to go. I might call it after that, or I might go back and do some S runes before I quit for the day. Or I might die. I mean, this is a streak, but you know, there's no guarantee that it'll be a success. If I die and all that, it's also possible. Oh my god, just am I not? Oh, you're not able to constrict over water. That's why I can't get a constrict off here. I thought I was just hitting the wrong hockey. Double shafted to D14. Well, I guess that makes up my mind for me. I'm definitely going to be doing a little bit more of main dungeon right now. All right, are you all very much dead? Can I move on? You know, as tempting as it is to take that staircase up, it's a little more tempting to stay here rather than rush my way back to the unknown from which there is no retreat. I am very powerful, so I should be able to deal with most of what I find down here. And I can keep my back to the unknown staircase just in case I have to go back up. Like, imagine I had taken a staircase up and this was the floor upstairs. Right now, I would have literally nowhere to run to if anything went south. I welcome the hero of time. There we go. Jesus Christ. Irradiate. Borgnors. Icicle pops. Just kill them all. Alright. Perfect. We are unshafted. And continuing with Otabi, the god of noobs. And there's a Circe here somewhere. There she is. Grab and then pull. I mean, I'd rather take this mess on where I can deal with all of it. Let's blink so that we cannot be drained. Grab some pigs. Deal with the most dangerous enemies. And grab and take them out. Okay. So now Circe is alone down there, and I have really high will, so I should be okay against her. Yeah, she has no chance of actually enchanting me. I'll just blast her now. Alright, easy finish. Alright, very easy finish. Let's move on. Well, that didn't take long. Okay. Yeah, now I'm actually just straight up being careless, almost on purpose. It's my way of bragging, I guess, that my character is so strong. That this mage, who has not once leveled strength or dex, and who hasn't taken time out of their busy schedule to build for their armor or whatever, is just passively strong enough to OTAB at this stage. Considering how slow I had to play at the start to be safe and secure, it's kind of one of those I've earned it, but still. It's pretty fun to have earned it. Let's ditch Dispersal. I do have Blink, so I can remove myself from those situations. I do not resist poison without the resist poison ring, but it is cool to get that spell casting all the way down in risk. I think I will try to remember to use the swap instead of pre-wearing poison resistance, because I can cure out a poison many times over. and I'm not using Ozo's refrigeration where I am likely to be unable to drink potions in a pinch. Thanks to carelessness or whatever. When I start using Ozo's refrigeration, I would have to start considering those outs a bit more. Okay, this is a shitty place to stand. Let's just not be here, please. Oh, you guys can swim too? Damn. Alright, let's blink. That's a shitty blink. That's a much better blink. That's a much worse outcome. I do have the air gap though, so that's good. My god, what a long roundabout that was. Okay. We're just gonna kill you now, bro. Sorry. We had some fun, but now we're done. Nah, let's see what it is without picking it up. Not picking an ice ring up. We already have really good resistances. There's precious few scenarios in which I care about the third pip of ice resistance in the 3-rune game. In a 15-rune game, it's not that I need it necessarily, it's just that it's way more accomplishable to get, so yeah. Looks like... Oh, that's interesting. This is really fun. This is really, really fun. I love whacking things with this. It's a fun beat stick. We're going to ignore the silence. We will read that off the floor. Oh my god, game, why do you keep giving me such good stuff? Yeah, we will absolutely take a ring of being a better mage. We'll lose the 3 intelligence in favor of this, but we'll carry the intelligence with us in case I change my mind. If I need even more MP to force a spell, I can. At this stage, I don't need enchant weapon ever again. We'll put it on the falchion again, just because that's what I was doing, not because it's relevant. But I cannot think of many circumstances in which this +5 Morningstar of all the cool shit is going to be inadequate. All right, one more floor, and we're done with main dungeon. Done with main dungeon, haha. Let's get them. I rarely cancel out of mark on an ordinary floor. I generally prefer how it funnels the enemies to me when I'm strong. Oh shit, I didn't even know I was up against Rupert. Of course. Perfect. Perfect will is wonderful. Let's restrain him and do that. And we will acidify so that he is unlikely to hit me even if he hits me, and now he's dead. And he was wearing leather armor of cold resistance, so it's a good thing I wasn't relying on passive damage there from being a cold mage instead of the active damage I was getting from being a earth mage, or the damage of being a mace mage. What's a mace mage, you ask? A mage that whacks you in the fucking head with a mace. Grab and smack. Smack and torch and pop and Josephine. Yeah, whatever. Why don't you all come over here so I can kick your ass this way? That was a bad O-tab, and I knew it was a bad O-tab. I just felt like doing it and didn't care about the consequences. Let's blink and start living again. Boop, 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 boop. Irradiate. I will give it to you, game. You are giving me scenarios where OTAB is actually not a good move, so kudos to you. But that is the end of the main dungeon, so the next area would be Swamp or Snake. Let's put on that poison resist ring right now and go to... Actually, both are equally doable. I would say Swamp has less lightning options than Snake on average. So let's go here first. Do I have quaffable resistance potions? Not yet? Okay, I should. Oh, I do. Okay, excellent. We'll just ditch the nets at this stage in favor of carrying the mutation potion stack. Amulet of Regen is a very nice pickup, but I don't need it, unfortunately. Now I got spellcasted Blink, so I am not reliant on my mace for blinking. Thorn Hunter. Miso Tony. Miso Tony. Yeah, if I had lost the game right there because of, a couple bad rolls or something, I would be really sad right now. But I am playing at the level of caution of a man who would lose the game here from that level of carelessness. Yeah, we can kill my own ice beast, that's fine. So I should probably take a little more caution, or I should stop playing and come back when I'm willing to play well, because I am on a streak. And it would be the height of stupidity to lose a streak because I was getting impatient or something. Or having too much hubris. And I'm absolutely showing both those signs. I mean, look at me. I am fighting enemies not on a staircase or not on a safe descent. Now it's a safe descent. Now I can fight them here. Shoot. You are not going to end me. Alright, irradiate. ×2. Goliath frogs corrode. It's actually a very, or I think they have a corrosive bite. So, yeah. Oh, game, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have. So they just gave me my Zot endgame right now. Orb of Destruction with Spellforge Servitor is basically my favorite way to win the game. So I have Blink. I have mid and low level Earth Conjurations for untyped damage. I have Bjorgnor's Vile Clutch on lock. I have every resistance. I have massive will. And I have an evocable Berserk as well as, for like emergencies. If I had a source of poison resistance that didn't take up a ring slot, that would be nicer. Wizardry could help my Knoll hit the point of casting Orb of Destruction faster. But I have Spellforge Servitor. I don't even have to cast it. I just have to be able to cast the Servitor. So even a 20% failure on level 7 spells is plenty good enough, because, you cast it and you're good enough. Though I would obviously think 10% is more the level at which you want reliability when, you're relying on those spells to work. I do not like the situation that I find myself in right now. So I'm gonna Bjorgnors these people to not chase me, please. And kill them all. Lethal defense. I'll figure out what that is. Ooh, hey, there's that thing that I've been waiting for all game. It actually paid off. I got a massive improvement. And yet it's still totally pointless. Because there is no scenario in which... There's few places in which I wouldn't rather have my mace. Swamp 2, Swamp 3. Are there other cloaks in the game that I could be going for? No? Okay, good. Making sure. This is a bad engage, so we're gonna funnel them all here to make it better. Oh, shit, they're lance wielders. So we'll funnel them even harder. I'll get some ice bears so they can be clever for me. Druids are awful, so let's beat them to death. I resist fire, so Will o' the Wisps aren't scary. Is that all of you? That's still not all of you. Yeah, throwing stuff at me generally doesn't work well. Just ask everybody who's tried it all game. Amulet of Reflection's so strong. Amulet of Reflection, by the way, doesn't like dramatically... It doesn't make you invincible to being thrown at. It's not like Repel Missiles or whatever, where it gives you a flat, massive bonus to repelling the missile. Rather, it's just a +5 shield skill. And if you do manage to block with your shield, then the projectile is sent back. The reason it's so effective is, one, +5 shield skill is absolutely not anything to sneeze about. And second, normally if an enemy has range on you, you're taking shot after shot after shot until they reach you. With repel missiles, if you take 2 or 3 shots and they miss each of them, there's a really good chance that they just got shot back, and now you're not taking any more damage because they killed themselves, or they've crippled themselves, so it'll take much less time once you reach them to finish the job. So there's a lot of fringe benefits that go into the repel missiles, but the actual repulsion of missiles property does not directly reduce your likelihood of taking damage. You know what? I'm gonna light fire on myself. Sure. I mean, notice my HP has gone down 4 from standing in all those fire clouds. So. Are you serious? I'm just talking about how good few bonus shield points is, and they're like, "Hey, how would you like more of them?" Oh my god, it's too awesome. It's too awesome. Howdy, Masharam. How you doing? It's good to see you. Welcome to hell, or at least my stream anyway. All right, so if the shield amulet that they're giving me is +8 shields, then but it's Guardian Spirit. So Guardian Spirit's interesting. Guardian Spirit lets you use your MP in to absorb damage, which is great because we won't die. Thing is, as a mage, I would almost always prefer to be 10 hit points lower and 10 MP higher, because I mean I have 130 hit points, right? Even if it's a choice between being on the brink of death. Nice. I am happy for your happy stomach. I am still pulling off my dieting, and today pulling off my dieting means, shit, am I really below 1,000 calories? I may be overdoing it just a little bit today. Just a little bit. I'll stop you guys in your tracks. Shit. So this engage by itself is fine. I'm a little more nervous about all this unknown. The trees on the left mean I'm probably safe retreating northwest, so let's just back off. Back off. I know it might seem like a bit of an overabundance of caution, but again, I am on a 3 streak, and it would be the 3rd of the 3 streak. It would suck to lose my streak just because I got greedy. There we go. Burn! Motherfucker. That's a nice poison cloud you blew there. It's a shame that I'm resistant to poison. But answer me, Mr. Swamp Drake. Are you resistant to ignited poison? I'm picturing that moment in the movie. The beast charges at the wizard and is attacking, and blows a huge putrid pink cloud. And from the outside, the audience doesn't get to see what's happening on the inside. You're not sure if his secret technique to guard against it has worked or not. And then it cuts to the next scene, and you're inside the cloud, and the wizard is there, and he smiles. And then he finishes smiling and lights the entire cloud on fire. Oh, another scroll of acquirement. I think +3 dex on my hat beats Rampage. And I'm fairly certain I don't need the Book of Maledictions. I do not. So I will acquire the gold. And then I will parlay that into going to the shop that I found before and buying the convenience spell that I did not need but wanted anyway earlier. Let's see. So I can get a Necronomicon at endgame. I don't have to get it now. But what was it? I think the Young Poisoner's Handbook? Yes. Young Poisoner's Handbook would give me Olgrib's Toxic Radiance. But why is the game saying it's grayed out? I don't have it yet. Oh, I don't have no spell levels. That's fine. I'll get the spell levels. Yeah. We'll totally pick up the Young Poisoner's Handbook and put this back on the shopping list for future Ahmed problems. And how many spell levels do we need? 2? Let's see what we're getting rid of. At this stage of the game, I have Blink, so I don't need Swiftness. I can get rid of Orb of Destruction and get it back later. I'm still using Ice Everything. I'm still using Stone Arrow. So let's ditch Swiftness and Ogreb's Toxic Radiance. All who gaze upon me must suffer poison. You know what? I could totally do Elven Halls right now. It'd be better to have resist electricity, granted, but I have such great resistance. I can do pretty much anything. No. Stop getting distracted. Got that much longer tonight to play. Just focus on diving swamp. I would happily explain it if you actually wanted to know, but actually, I probably will end up explaining it to anyone who watches this later. But yeah, I am min-maxing and deciding on the best approach to doing things, then realizing that I am so far above the power curve right now that I don't really need to do that, and then doing it anyway. All right, so here we are. This is the last floor of the swamp, and look at me. That metal means that I am probably right next to the rune chamber already. So if I think I'm probably just gonna go for the rune and then quit or play a little more quit. You know it, man. Thank you. And seriously, thanks for coming out. I love it when anybody watches my crazy dumb stuff. Let's poke my nose in. So there's a more complicated vault shape here for sure. Do I have a lot of magic mappings? I do. Let's burn one. Okay, I don't even know what the hell. Oh, look, they drew a pentagram. Got it. So they drew that pentagram shape, which means I am not right by the rune chamber, which means I should not suicidally rush or pig-headedly try and clear the floor. I should take my time. All right, take my time. First things first, let's do the outskirts. You get greedy, and then suddenly a named unique shows up like Mennas, and next thing you know, you're silenced and wondering how you're gonna make do with tiny amounts of HP. Burn! You will burn. Toxic Radiance for sure here. 1, 2, torch. And Wizard is a good reason to redo it. Torch. And Bale. So this is actually really shitty. The pentagram, I don't know the vault's shapes or anything, but just judging from the design that was drawn and what I've seen so far, they're going to put a ton of demons in here. Demons are immune or highly resistant to poison on average, which means the spellbook I just picked up is completely pointless. I do have the tools to beat resistant creatures, but they're not excellent. And they're very much 1v1 tools, except for Bjorgnor's Val Clutch, which I'm going to use liberally, obviously. Okay, am I close? Yeah, I'm close to the center of the pentagram. I assumed that that would be where the rune was, and it's not turning up here. Let's back out. Back up, back up, back up. The Chaos Spawn ululates chillingly with its many mouths. That is just damn right unsettling, sir. You really are the spawn of chaos. Lucky for me, there are enough mortals here for me to still get plenty of damage in using my full kit. Alright, irradiate. Blast, 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 blastoise. I still don't know what a bunyip is in real life, but I'd imagine it's something that lives in Australia, by which I mean horrifying, because it just did 50 damage in one hit. God damn. There are a couple enemies down here that I've never understood what they do, but I know how scary they are. The Fernstrider Witch is one, the Thorn Hunter is another, and the Bunyip is not the Bunyip. The was it the Bunyip? Fernstrider Witch. Anyway, those two for sure. Like everything will be going fine, and then they'll hit you a couple times, and they're like, "Wait, did I just nearly die?" And then, "Oh no, you didn't nearly die. You're actually dead." Shit. And on paper, they don't seem like they'd be that dangerous by comparison. Fernstrider Witch routinely shows up as a high level threat relative to the other threats that I'm dealing with. And look, there she is. God damn. So what I've learned to do is treat her like I would treat like an extremely dangerous unique and just go all out right away. So in this situation, that means let's set up poison. Is she resistant to poison? She is resistant to poison, and she's in melee. And she has paralysis and agony, which she cannot hit me with. Hurl sludge for 45 damage. I do not want that to get me killed later. Alright, she's dead. She's dead. So Bjorgnor's Val Clutch is a very interesting spell. It is guaranteed to hit, which is unusual as heck in this game. It doesn't do much damage. It does strangle damage over time with a chance for the enemy to escape constriction each time, but it constricts the enemy, which means it has a high chance of locking them on their square and not letting them move. And it instantly reduces their evasion. I want to say all the way to 0. If that's not true, it's functionally the same. So what ends up happening is you use it on an enemy that you need to lock down, and then you use a spell that is likely to miss in general, but now because they have no evasion, it's guaranteed to hit, and then you kick their ass. It's very cool, but for a utility spell, it costs 5 mana. It's a level 5 spell, which is insanely high. You know, utility spells like that, you would expect them to be 2 and 3 mana or whatever. And that's why it's such a great utility spell, because it is appropriately highly costed. All right, let's back up until we get our mana back. I don't have a clue where the rune is anymore. I'll bet you it's in the bottom of the pentagram, just to force you to walk the greatest distance, because there's no way into the pentagram from the south. Maybe? It's just a guess, I don't know. We'll find out. What's that? Nothing. But yeah, after I feel clear this, I'm probably going to hop out of stream for a while. There it is. Yep, bottom of the pentagram. As predicted. And unfortunately, the enemy here guarding it is Green Death, a poison monster who poisons with poison. Not something that is... Oh, and I just kicked his ass. Okay. Fernstrider Witch, we do not understand you, therefore going to kill you. All right, rune acquired. And now the swamp is just here for EXP or ignoring, and I'm good with either option. We've gotten every skill up to level 12. That is excellent. Like, legitimately, that's endgame level as far as I'm concerned for most of these skills. The only thing that would be nice that is not there yet is Orb of Destruction and Spellforge Servitor. And obviously a little bit more EXP so I can actually cast both at once. Like right now, if I had the Servitor down, he would just be firing 10 Orbs of Destruction and I wouldn't be reduced to missing with Stone Arrow 7 times. Ah, come on! Finish him! This is why we picked up Toxic Radiance, so that I could passively clear mobs like that. It is admittedly an unnecessary extra, but then again, I had a acquirement that I didn't need, so happy to have the extra. Yep, you're out of everything. Let's just run. Forest still is very angry. Now the forest is much quieter. Sure, enchant a weapon, why don't you? Why don't you put into that falchion of venom that I'm never going to use? And out we go! I hereby declare swamp full cleared. And respecting that I still do not have resist electricity, I still probably take on the snake pit next. And oh my god, there are 2 shock serpents guarding the door. That's just not nice. Still, the truth is, most of the enemies that electrocute here are vulnerable to poison. And anything vulnerable to poison is not very dangerous to me right now. Of course, it is the snake pit, so all the Nagas are certainly not vulnerable to poison, but they're mostly vulnerable to ice. And so this and my ice beasts will help. So I probably have the right tool for most jobs that I'll have to deal with down here. And of course, I am already strong enough to just auto attack my way through most of this. So good. And I have Blink and Berserk Rage and Teleport Scrolls to get out of bad situations that I walk myself into. Like that. If I didn't just destroy it. The only thing that would make this much easier would be Ozokobu's refrigeration, which I do not believe I found. Yeah. And I don't really want to use that either. Oh, I have access to a statue form. If I take statue form, I could, in a pinch, make myself resistant to electricity that way. And resist fire 3 pips is not likely to pay off massively down here. There are some salamanders and nagarajas and such that could potentially test that ability, but 2 pips or even 1 pip will probably be enough. Can you guys just come at me already, please? I don't want to dance forever. Thank you. No, just wait here. Break yourselves upon my body. Error and delete, error and delete, error and delete. Alright. Oh, another acquirement scroll? Jeez, they're just raining these things on me today. I do not require int +3 dex +6. I would rather have int +6. So no thank you, just give me the gold. But that might have been my cue to go pick up the statue form that I was saying I don't really need yet. F it, I'm doing it. Where's that shop? Yeah, I mean, again, I do not need it at all yet, but better to have and not need than need and not have. And I use all of these actually more than I use that, I would say, on average. Except for Sandblast, and I'm not going to unmemorize a 1-point spell. I could ditch Orb of Destruction until it's ready. Or I could just not worry about it. You know, I like the not worrying about it plan. Let's just do that. Oh my god, that's a lot of snakes. It's a shame I can't do something to all of them at once. Oh, yes I can. Freeze, bitches! What killed the snakes? The Ice Age! That doesn't work. That line does not work as well as I thought it did, and is not actually true. Okay, this is bad. This is really bad. Although, you know, he probably doesn't have to... Yep, I have really, really good will, so he can't really do much beyond that. The blink and circling, which is probably enough now that I think of it. Of course, that leaves me free to do my thing, which is ice armor and irradiate. So, buck up, bucko. Oh, you know how I said RF+++ isn't necessarily that great? It sure is when Azrael shows up, and it looks like Azrael is here with his retinue of Hellhounds and Scorchers. So, great! One of the only use cases where my abilities would be valuable, and that's what happens. And not only did I survive every fire blast, but I iced them to death quickly. Oh, another bookstore? I'll definitely look around. If you guys have any manuals, I would be very happy to peruse what is perusable in your perusals. Manual of Staves, not interested. Grand Grimoire is cool. Party Tricks I already have. Necromancy. It's a lot of good stuff here, but there's literally no spell that I was waiting for, so no spell that I need. Apportation. Oh, Ozo's Refrigeration is here. I could definitely take Ozo's Refrigeration, all things considered. Shit, it's Jogren. How well placed are we to live? He can't petrify me, which is huge. He can Iron Shot me, which is awful. I have maximal screen distance, so I guess I go for it. So he got me with a constrict. I didn't realize he could do that from full screen. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that... No, that did not negate my shield, though, so that's good. Okay, so we'll poison him some more. That was not the direction to blink. We're going to shatter him. Okay, he's dead. And I haven't died in the process. Jogren is scary as shit. He can turn you into a statue and then use Shatter, which can just destroy statues, or release Rapid Deconstruction, which can just destroy statues. It's not a one-hit kill. It's like a two-hit kill. Will obviously helps resist it. Knowing that it's coming resists it, keeping your distance. He's very survivable, just as long as you don't go in there not trying to survive. Basically, if you go in there thinking you're just gonna melee him like a regular enemy, man, he will put the hurt on you. He will hurt you good. When he's dead, he's a lot less scary, and when you're not playing a gargoyle, he's a lot less scary. When you're playing a gargoyle and you're already a statue, or when you're using statue form as your main means of offense, he's 10 times scarier because you're already slow, in statue form, and he's doesn't have to petrify you first. You're already a statue. He can just blow you up in a couple casts. Very scary territory. And if you're a nimble, fast character with a great evade stat, well, he can use the grasping roots, kind of like I'm using the Bjorkner's Vow Clutch on others. So, yeah, he's a scary one. Come here. Freeze, bitches. What's up, douchebags? So I just realized I haven't made any use of Nemelex whatsoever. Any significant use of Nemelex whatsoever this game. I stacked a deck, I have Tomb ready if I need it, and that's pretty much it. I probably should think more highly of his abilities since I'm maxed Piety. I could use them pretty much with impunity right now and then get him back easily. But to what point in purpose? I already do everything I need to without him. The most important thing he could possibly offer me is, in a situation where I get in over my head, can you give me a means out of it immediately? And Tomb seems like it would allow me to create a murder hole to fight from at will. So that's pretty cool. I'll definitely check out your artifact ring, my good man. And I've been craving some amnesia, so yes, please hand that over. Evocable Blink, a Dex +6. It is a testament to how powerful my character is that I can afford to ignore that. Wait, I never found gloves this entire game? This is seriously the first pair of gloves I've found? Wow, that is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, I'm definitely going to wear them, obviously. That goes without saying. Ditch the spear. Put on the gloves. Ditch the staff of poison. Enchant armor if you don't have it yet. Do that to max it. Ditch. I don't know why I'm not doing the MP plus route. I don't need evasion nearly that much. I guess because I'm already really casting spells pretty easily. And ringmail nonetheless. Alright, let's pull some snakes. Unfortunately, they managed to get a constrict off, but it's not going to hold for that long. And torch them. I'm starting to suffer from just one more turn. I really should bail. But it's like I could just finish the S runes at this point, and right now I know my character well, so I'm playing efficiently. I'll have to get used to the character again if I stop for later. Boom! Pitted dagger, no thank you. I have really good mace, so I'm not just going to spend money on a random artifact that I can't use. Okay, there's distortion weapons in that pile, so I need to be very careful not to get caught out by one. If I continuously lock them in place. Perfect. They won't have the opportunity. That was unexpected and unwelcome. That's, by the way, what I've been afraid of is my lack of resist electricity and a little bit of a bad circumstance and losing a whole lot of HP to it. There were plenty of answers there, but if I'm not being very careful, I won't remember to use them in time. It just so happened I didn't need them in the end, but that, yeah, a few bad rolls can obviously hose you in those situations. All right, we are pretty close to full clearing a snake 3. Ditch the inaccurate pendant for damn sure. It's just a ghost with no good loot. Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I don't need to be hunting ghosts right now. Well, so much for stopping early. Let's take a look. See that big smiley face at the end of the coil? I'm gonna guess that that's the rune chamber. So let's just put up a nice blanket do not enter sign for now. And I'll clear out the rest of the stage before I put my head into the snake's mouth, metaphorically. And, given the design, literally. You know what just hit me is because I'm running Nemelex and have access to Tomb, I could go into vaults, deal with the greeting party using any number of my AoE approaches, then push my way a little bit deeper in, make a tomb for myself, and create my own murder hole. Like, I could supplement the existing architecture of one of the corners and close the corner, one of the four corners, and close that corner. And that might be a really safe way to take on the vaults, actually. It might be worth restacking to see if I can get 2 tombs in a row. Actually, no, the way I would do that would be use 1 tomb and then cast pick 5 again if I had to. Like, if I was going for that approach, that's what I would do. Okay, well, you guys are full cleared. All right, level is full cleared, except for, of course, the scary part. The reason that I always approach things that way is because if I'm gonna to have any issue and get teleported or trapped or shafted or get in over my head and need to randomly teleport, I want the vast majority of the floor to be safe and only a minority to not be safe. Now, that's generally not going to be possible, so take as much as you can get at least. Yeah, constricting a snake is shockingly not actually an easy thing to do. Poisoning them is even harder, but reflecting a poison arrow back at its caster is apparently very easy. Ha, nice. And because of my high will, Izul couldn't put me to sleep, so I gotta say, high will, like really high will, 4+ pips, I usually get 2 or 3, depending on what drops I find. Really high will mitigates a lot of the uniques in this game. Since you can resist the nastier effects that they're otherwise able to heap on you. Alright. This is the part where instead of running in like a big war hero, I hide outside like a little bitch. Tedious, but safe. I could also memorize refrigeration, go in there and freeze everything, but it's actually a higher risk to lose access to potions right now than I need to take. I'm way better off staying on the fringes and picking things off right now. Now, if they forcibly teleport me into the midst of all of that, then it might change. But even then, I'm probably better off just teleporting myself back. We're gonna acid you real quick, just to clear off what I've killed and then get all my HP back before I come back. Okay. I must say, Stone Arrow is very solid. It's not like an OP spell or anything, but it's continuing to prove its usefulness even though I've hit level 20. That is way more than I thought I was going to get out of it. I think in the latest updates, they've heavily nerfed starting spells. It might be worth giving this one another look. The Earth Elemental class another look. Ooh, this is a nasty place to be. If it's possible, I'll pull him upstairs with me. Good. because he can lance me, knock me around, get me off the staircase when I'm not ready for it, etc. I don't want to deal with that. Just my mere presence outside the rune chamber is attracting them to me, and it's ironic. If they were playing defensively and waiting and refusing to attack me until I walked in and was deep inside and couldn't retreat, they would do a lot more damage. But this is part of the skill of the safety of playing this way is you decompress the rune chamber as much as possible before you actually put your head into it. See, I don't want to put my head that far in yet, so I was sent my ice beasts instead. Because I still am getting plenty of play hanging on the periphery. I would say I've comfortably killed 20 snakes so far, so there can't be a ton more. That doesn't take a ton. It takes one or two good effects. And okay, here we go. Putting our head all the way in. There it is. Rune! You know what? We don't need to wake up the other half of this place. Let's just take a look at the loot and get out. There's a whip. And just get out. There's more loot, huh? Oh, rocks. I don't need more rocks. I have more rocks than I know what to do with. All right, we're out of here. So, we've fully cleared the main dungeon. We've fully cleared the lair. I'm not sure what this is. Why is this marked up? Oklobs? Yeah, Oklobs, lots of them. We've fully cleared the main dungeon. We've fully cleared the lair. We've fully cleared 2 S runes. And I guess next up is Vaults for the 3rd rune. And if you're just going to offer me a dagger on the floor, I am going to look at it. You know, I don't have a source of See Invisible, and I would rather have that than have extra mana, so we'll take that with us. And I think it's time for us to switch over from Poison Resist again. We can always put it back on. And from Evade, we've got Orb of Destruction down to damn near castable. We're gonna Amnesia away the Ice Beast. And in its place, memorize Spellforge Servitor and start using that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's not yet at the point that I could use it arbitrarily frequently, but it's gonna be there soon enough. In the meantime, we're back out of the snake pit, which means poison is gonna be very effective against many enemies again. Jesus. This game is so damn addictive. I just don't want to stop playing. All right, you guys lucked out because all of these monsters can change between the different elements, and they just happen to all be on poison resist right now, which is exactly what they need to be if they want to survive the fact that I'm going to burn them. So with poison, but I can always just grab them with constriction too. So, bah. All right. You know, I'm not even going to slow down for you giants anymore. I'm just going to charge you. Oh, whoa. That was bad. That's the kind of thing that you get a Titanic slime and die to. So yeah, let's not do that. Okay, there are a lot of invisible enemies here that I'm not sure what to make of. So let's do this. Let's Set myself up to succeed against everything, toxify anything that's poison, and then just burn them all. How's that? Alright. The invisible enemies all died. and I got metabolic inglutiation for my trouble. That's just fantastic. Spellforce Servitor 40%. When that thing gets down to 20%, I'll consider this myself powerful enough to clear Zot, albeit with difficulty. It's very important that I force them to appear around me in a circle before I irradiate them all. Nope. Not happy with this fight. If I'm not happy with a fight, I do not have to take it. See, my casting rate on Orb of Destruction is 40% success, but my Spellforce Servitor is 100%. It costs me 7 mana, it costs him none. So, yeah, generally speaking, if I can get him to cast, and both those spells are exactly equally difficult to cast for a Gnoll. So if I can get him casted, it's like casting 5 to 10 Orbs of Destruction. And it's usually way safer to try to cast my summon, when I'm not in the thick of combat or whatever, than to have to cast an Orb of Destruction while in the thick of combat. Okay. Volts 1 was a cakewalk, and I am actually calling it here because it is past 10, and I had to do at least one other thing tonight, and I was hoping to do some piano. So thank you all for watching. I hope you had fun with this, and I'll see you guys next time.